Sunday school lessons for the quarterly. They've provided special music. They have sang in the choir. They've been prayer warriors. They've been encouragers. They rarely miss any of our services. And they have been behind the scenes. They've been in front of the scenes. They've directed the scenes. They've been the pillar. They've been the backbone of this church. And we want to thank them for their service through these many years. Now, Jetti has provided leadership, served in so many ways. I refer to her as our fourth elder many times. The church has been the love of her life. She's been an encourager. She's been a prayer warrior. Leona, she faithfully served this church, impacted our church through the ministry of music. Came faithfully with her husband for a lot of years. It took a long time to get all that Baptist out, didn't it? And she has been so faithful through the years, teaching, serving on the board, and been very dedicated. Clara Weaver, been the faithful wife, companion of Archard, and for years they traveled from Russellville every single Sunday all the way down to McGintytown to serve in this church. And we're so, rarely you see faithfulness like that. Been in attendance. I don't think they missed a Sunday. I mean, it was incredible. I had to call them and tell them we might have ice and snow to keep them from coming sometime.
One time you didn't go and we came.
I was just lucky they didn't show up at my doorstep. Eventually, they moved all the way from Russellville to Greenbrier to be closer to the church family and the friends, and they've been even more dedicated since then. Mary Barnes, she grew up in one of our churches in Omaha as a girl, but she was isolated all of her life from one of our churches. They had kind of a home church in Minnesota. And so when her and Orland were thinking about where they wanted to retire, where they wanted to spend the rest of their lives, they looked throughout the United States. Mary said, I want to spend my time next to one of our churches. And you should feel privileged, because out of all the churches in the Church of God, she chose, Orland chose McGintytown to be that place. When she got down here, I put her to work. She's taught Sunday school for a number of years. She wrote the quarterly for the General Conference many years. And they did Orland. We drafted Orland. Orland had never been in church very much. She was a cowboy. It took a little while to get all that. Well, we never did get it all out of it. I remember the first time when he came to church, everybody just assumed that he was been in church most of his life. And I remember, I think it was John Carden, he was the Sunday school superintendent. He called on Orland to say the prayer. And I remember seeing Orland's eyes looking this way and that way. Me? And he said the prayer, and after that he said it many times. And he was the building chairman of our new addition in 1982, instrumental in all that. We even got him to coach softball one time. I don't think he knew a thing about softball, but we're so thankful and so honored to have all these that have served as pillars of our church and have led a foundation, an example of faith for all of us. And so we want to honor them today. And we have something special for them. We have a plaque for each of them. Want to take that to Mary? Yeah, take it. Leona. We have a cake back there. Now, none of you get into that until they at least see it. And we want to thank them for their service through the many years. And I might... And you might want to, we'll just take a few minutes if you'd like to say something. At this time, we're going to leave it open just for a few minutes, if you'd like to say something at this time.
Well, I'd like to say that I don't feel so deserving of this, but I appreciate it. I've enjoyed what I've done here.
We thank you.
I'd like to say something, Brother Tom.
This is good.
I think it was me that called on Moreland. I was Sunday school superintendent. Anyway, I did that one time, because I thought he was just an old Christian. Been in church a long time.
David?
When I think of these ladies here, you can't help but think of, Brother Jetti Moreland and Tommy McGinty, and also Clara Weaver, and Orrin Barnes. They were pillars within our church also. And I often thought, behind every great man there's a great woman. And these ladies stood behind them all these years, and they helped us bring this church forward to where it is today. And I just hope we can carry on what they managed to do here at this church. And I do appreciate them, and thank you.
I just want to say, most of you know the circumstances of me moving down here. That woman there, that woman there, that woman there, and that woman there have been the most non-judgmental people I've ever met, and have greeted me every Sunday telling me they miss me when I'm not here for a while. I love all four of you. And I like to see the rest of you, but there are some Sundays that I get out of bed and think, I gotta get in there for my Jetti hug or my Mary hug or my little spar with Clara and say hi to Leona. And they have taught me what being a Christian woman is about. They've taught me a lot. And you may not even know it, but you guys have said and done things that I've seen and has taught me a lot.
Amen.
All I can say is it kept me from going crazy.
Now, I just want to know what you've done to keep them from going crazy. Oh. I probably couldn't get by without us all singing Jetti's favorite song, I'm a Child of the King. So if you would, let's stand and sing hymn number 442, Child of the King. We'll sing the